Hey guys, thought I'd show you the next step here in my alarm clock project. As you know, my alarm clock project reads out stuff that I've downloaded from the internet and does it out loud over a speaker, which plays in my bedroom. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get ready to start displaying this on the wall. So I've grabbed an MDF board here, which I happen to find downstairs. As you know, I now live in Manhattan and it's difficult to keep a shed full of wood. So this is what I could find, and it's a nice piece of MDF that's come out of somebody's cupboard that they were throwing away. So I win, and hopefully that means you win too. Alright, what do we got here? This is my Raspberry Pi. You may have seen this one before. This one has become Stereo Pi. I set it up in my last video. Right, and what's happening here is this is connected to this breadboard, and the breadboard is connected to these 8 by 8 LED matrix displays. So that's to say there's 8 of them, and each of them has 8 LEDs in this direction and 8 LEDs in this direction. So they're 8 by 8 LEDs. They're called the Max 7219. What I've done, I've just set up a series of them. You can see this is one individual one, and I've set up all 8. They actually number from the other corner. They start here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as we go across. And so these all have 5 ins, and these 5 ins read as VCC. What I've done here, you'll see that I've got a power of 5 volts to my Raspberry Pi, but this would take far too much. So I've got a second USB cable here, and I've split the red and black cables, the power of 5 volt, which is 2 amps. So just so I can do this, sent that to here, and then that spreads out across all 8 of them. So first is VCC, then ground, which I've connected in serial. The next one is DIN, which I've also connected in serial, and I'll just show you those two on the back here. They look like, you see I've wired them in behind these ones in serial, so I'll just show you. You see at the top they've got a couple connectors. So those are those 2 in serial, which is DIN, DIN and ground. The next cable after that is CS, which is the data set, which is all here. Which all comes to, just checking which one it is. That's this set of 8 here. And then the last one is CLK, clock, which of course connects to the Raspberry Pi on the clock GPIO. What this does is it lets all 8 matrix displays work as one unit. So it might look a little bit complex here, but all it is each of these is wired for those 3 functions, which is clock, CS, and power. And then everything else is in parallel, which is ground and DIN. That's all it is. Let's just grab my trusty laptop here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a program. And that program that I'm going to run is actually the alarm clock program. I intend to change this in a little bit, but you'll see it should display on the 8 matrix displays rather than having it read out. There you go. Alright, so as this reads out, let's just talk about some more bits about the project. As I say, this is number 1, so these are actually wired in this direction. All 8 together, I've read on the forum, on some forums, all 8 together displaying all of their dots at the same time uses 1.7 amps or 1750 milliamps. What this means is it's really important to have that separate power to drive them. The second thing to talk about is using this Raspberry Pi while it's currently not doing the speaker out, I intend to change this so that it works in a different way. Alright, so just as we continue on here, what I thought I might do is just show you kind of the next steps in this project so you'll understand what I'm doing as I go forward. Okay, the first thing to talk about is hanging it. So I went down to the hardware store, I picked up some picture wire to hang this, and these D-rings, which I've got this idea that I'm going to put everything on the front so you can see all the working bits. So I'm going to do the same with this. I'm going to hang these on the front. So you'll probably see that in the next version. On top of that, in terms of electronics, I've got these rotary encoders. Now these rotary encoders, they allow you to twist infinitely in both directions. They also have a push to make function. So I hope to include those. You can see I've already started wiring them up. Hope to include a couple of those. I've ordered some dials, some big knobs rather, so that these can be nice big dials and we can have a good bit of fun with them. Of course, in the next version, the software will change slightly. I intend to change the way that this is displayed. So instead of just scrolling it all across, what I'll do is I'll use a number of features and functions to change the way it appears on screen, whether it moves up or down or round and about. Anyways, that's where the project is at the minute. What I'm going to do, instead of posting the code that I have now, because it's still very early days, what I'll do instead is in the About section, you'll find all of the places where I found the information that I'm using as the basis of this. So you'll see a lot of people credited in a lot of unusual places. There's a PDF that I'm using, for example, that I intend to use for these rotary encoders. There's some great websites, some long forum posts. I know on raspi-blacklist.conf they discussed using one of these matrix displays, but farther down you'll actually find a description of a fellow who's put all 8 of them in parallel, put all of the 8 of them in series so that they can display these longer messages. Again, it's not quite as straightforward when you're trying to piece together the information as it is just to have it laid out for you. But again, it'll give you a good idea of the sort of research that I go through in order to bring my projects to life. Of course, if you have any questions, please post them in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give me a like. If you thought the video was helpful and you'd like to buy me a coffee, you can do that in the About section. I'm always interested in your projects, anything that you guys are up to, or any suggestions you have for this project, although I'm pretty committed now that I've bought this number of displays. But if you have any suggestions, I'm always willing to listen. I've got some great help on the on YouTube on the coding for the alarm clock in terms of how it's going to work. Some absolutely fantastic help, and thanks for that. And thanks to everybody who donated in recent weeks. I really do appreciate that. It does go a long, long way. Well, look, that's it for me. That's it for now. Do tune in again. We'll have some more awesome stuff to show off. Thanks so much.